Hey, bro, how's it going?
G'day, mate. How you going?
Good. You seen Simon around?
I don't know, mate. He's just been missing in action.
Second show in a row, bro. I think I, I think he may have ditched us, eh?
I think he's gone and joined someone else,
Good luck to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
hold on. Oh, hold on. I'm getting swamped with Instagram messages. Hold on. He's oh.
Hello, good morning. I'm here.
Oh,
He
you know
made
what they
it.
say?
Yeah,
He made it.
I
Yeah.
made it. Yes, I made it. Yes, I was just about to jump on yesterday. I turned on my thing and there's Andrew and John waving goodbye. Oh, you lot, get the back here now and let's stop messing about. But no, they left without me. Typical. Oh dear.
No,
We
I see.
don't want to
We've got
start any
Professor
rumours, eh, Brad? We're not starting.
no.
There's no
Rock
rumours.
Professor
There's no story going
LinkedIn.
on.
No, I just slept in till 7.
Oh, we know what
And
we
that
privately all know what you get up to, Simon. In your private time, we know what you get up to, and that
Rust never sleeps. Yes, the rock professor, on the other hand, does slightly. Oh
yes.
dear.
Good to see you, Simon.
A good show yesterday. I've watched about half of it, but not all of it. Yeah, it is long.
Jeez, mate. I'm surprised you even got through
Too
half
long.
of it, mate. That's 6 hours, six and a bit out. What was it, Andrew, at the end?
Six
6.5.
and a half hours, bro. And
Wow. Wow.
there's some good stuff there. We're lucky,
Yep.
aren't we? We've got some good hosts, co-hosts that jumped on
Yep.
over the year with us, and some regulars who enjoy the Christmas show, like Mikey. It was pretty
Yeah.
good. It was pretty good,
Yeah.
guys.
And John, John ZD lasted the whole bloody show. Wow.
Yeah.
Great effort. Great effort, John. Well done.
Do you see his comment? All I know is Andrew said, "It's him. He's coming." Next thing we know, we're gone.
I told you, John, not to let the cat out of the bag. Shit.
Yes, I should hope so too. He ran away, and then they bravely ran away. Yes.
No. Honestly, guys,
Yeah.
when Brad, it's the truth. When Brad said,
No, I
"Look,
know.
guys,
You
I've
were
got to
just stopping.
run.
It's
I've got to
really
go.
funny.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things to do." I looked at the thing and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a call. And I know that we said we were going to go for about 8 hours, but 6.5 hours. Yeah, it's a lot of
Quite
work.
long enough for any man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sitting around, guys. A lot of sitting around.
Yeah.
It's,
We had this lady in the chat with us for a while, Simon.
oh, fantastic! I'm glad you came on, Len. That's brilliant. Well done.
Awesome. Do you want to do a shout out, Rock Professor?
I will. I'll do a shout out to who's in. There's a few people in today. KXM Rock. Good morning. It's Nelson Rodriguez. Morning, Nelson. Greg Roberts tuned. Morning, Greg. Snow Puppy. Good morning, Snow Puppy. Merry Christmas to you too. We've got John ZD351. Morning, John. Hope you're well. Well done yesterday for 6.5 hours. Ellen, glad you came on. Good morning to you. Gretch Zeppelin. Morning, Gretch. Ryan Hall. Morning, Ryan. From sunny Tennessee. Well, I hope it's sunny in Tennessee.
Brother.
Yeah, that's Ryan. Excellent Rock. Yeah, it looks like Got a few people. Like Hugh Corwell as well. Morning, Hugh. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Christopher Live's over. Morning, Chris. Hope you're well. Yeah, I hope that's everybody. Did I miss anyone? Shout out if I didn't. Oh, shout out. Good to see you
All
all.
the cool cats are here. All the cool cats
Yeah.
are here.
The chat is flowing.
Um,
Yeah, I
Okay.
had loads of stuff for yesterday, but I just had to throw it all away. All my good material for yesterday. God.
oh no, hold it, hold it, because we'll do a show. We'll do something next week. We'll get together. We'll get together next week.
Yeah.
I'm around. As you guys know, we've got nothing planned, no ranking tracks planned for 3 or 4 weeks. But in the past, we've got together and we've done a couple of streams in between, you know, eating Christmas cake and eating Christmas ham and all those kind of things, Brad, that you do this time of the year.
Yeah, the good but the bad stuff, you know. The good but the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing to do is to make it all yourself. Then at least you know what went into it.
You got
That's
it, brother.
true.
You got it.
100%.
Yeah, my house has been a hive of industry in making Christmas puddings, Christmas cakes. And this week we're going to be making other stuff as well. So yeah. And that's my thing is make it yourself so that you know exactly what went into it and no superfluous rubbish went into it.
Awesome.
So,
So keep those notes. Keep those notes, Rock Professor, for a show next week.
oh yeah. Well, I've got a fantastic story that I heard. I think it is extraordinary, but I'll keep it for next week. I'll keep it for our between Christmas and New Year thing. But it's an amazing story. I'd never heard it before. I don't know why I hadn't. But, yes.
We'll call that show the Catch Up with the Rock Professor and What Did You Get for Christmas show.
Ooh,
Sounds
Yes.
good.
that's good.
Guys, you know, we've done this for a couple of years now. Kind of interesting, isn't it, when you look back on these shows that we've done in the past? We got some good views. Got some good views on the thing that we don't like kind of doing is making lists.
That is true.
For a show that's critical of lists. Actually, to be fair though, Simon, what we've actually said technically is go and make your own list, and that's basically what we're doing. Don't take someone else's list. Go and make your own list.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly
If anyone's got a list they want to share in the chat, go ahead.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And so our first thing that we're going to talk about, folks, is the 5 good things that have happened in the music world, in the music industry, in the instrument industry, stuff that's happened here on the channel. And I get an opportunity to kick the ball off, followed by who's going next after me? Simon, the Rock
Me,
Professor. And
Me, sir.
then Brad, and then they will change the order around for the negative things or the sad things, because we
Yeah.
don't like to dwell too much on the negative and sad things. But still, you know, that's a point, guys, I think that we
Part of
need
the
to
year.
sort of
Part of the year.
talk about. Yeah, once a year. Once a year was always a good thing. So, guys, the first thing that I want to talk about, no surprise, I suppose. I've got the Eric Clapton T-shirt on. I've got the 24 Nights box set here. The shows that we did with the Clapton box set, you know, personally up there with one of my favourite sets of shows. We did a lot of shows, folks. And I'm going to attach that playlist here that we've got. Brad did a wonderful 5-minute segment talking about the Clapton Stratocaster. The Rock Professor and I and Brad got together and we did a deep dive before the box set came out, and then we ranked each of the 3 different nights, didn't we?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I have to put that down as one of my favourite shows that we've done. I was sick. I was sick as a dog for a month. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yep.
And I think Rock Professor, you had some issues as well.
I've always got issues.
Yeah. So and I think we decided that we were still going to go ahead and do it. We didn't get my box set because my box set was still in
Oh, yeah.
in customs. So we used Spotify at least to get us up to scratch, Brad, with what was going on. And even then, through Spotify, we noticed, didn't we, between the three of us and also a good friend of ours, Michael, we noticed there were some tonal audio differences, Brad.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah, well, I don't want to talk too much about this because this is one of my ones.
Okay, well, hold it then. So just agree.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, certainly up there with the work that we put into those shows, the research, the introductions. You go back, folks, and we can be proud as a collective of that effort, Simon.
we can. Good morning, Drops, Family Garden. How are you? Yeah, no, it was great. It was fantastic. And I still haven't watched the DVDs.
Something to look forward to when you
No, I know.
when you've got retirement.
I'm smoking a pipe.
You got it, brother.
Rock Professor.
That's really funny. Oh well, so my top thing this year was really going to Italy and having a week guitar playing in the Umbrian Tuscany border, which was
Wow.
as usual fantastic. Yeah, the place, the playing, and the people. They are the three P's. It was a fantastic experience as ever. I've been there before, and so the flight and everything went fine. Took my guitar as Mr. Musical Instrument, had its own seat, had to be strapped into viciously. So that was fine. That was good. That worked, and nobody made a fuss about it, which is great. And, I had a really fantastic week. Music is a great, joiner of people, and meet all those people and make some great new friends and stuff. And we'll have a lot of banter on our WhatsApp group and things, and there's some challenges going around, people playing songs and then putting them out, just acoustic guitar stuff and things. But it was a great experience, and I thank you, John, for your list. I'll pop out in a minute. But as ever with those things, it's the real things are, the stuff you do in the day. But when you're sitting around with a glass of wine and at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, passing the guitar around, and people saying, "Can you play songs? Can you do this? Can you?" That's what's brilliant about those things. And there's no status in those things. We're all just people playing guitars and trying to pass our knowledge round to each other. Showing it to, saying, "How about playing it like this? Do this or whatever." Little Thursday night sort of gig. I was sad it wasn't in the bar, but it's on top of the hill. But we had a fantastic time, and all the other people in the hotel came to watch, and it was it's one of those kind of really kind of cathartic experiences that everyone's a bit like a retreat, really.
Sure.
But there were a group of women there who were on a yoga retreat. I'm not quite sure how a lot of loud guitar players and yoga goes together quite, but it was very interesting. It's a beautiful place. It runs as a rustic Italian hotel. As I said before, there's no menus and stuff like that. You just get served. Quite a lot of stuff is self-service. You have to make your own coffee and things. Proper coffee machine, mind you. The old grinder and the filtration stuff that works really well. And I like all of that as a sort of DIY element to it. And the evening meal is a 4-course meal. You just get what you get. It's a bit like a sort of posher version of being at home. When you were a kid, when I got home from football, school, or whatever. Tea on the table, mate. That's what you get. None of your straw poles and what we have. But so as I say, it's a fantastic place, and you know, if anyone gets a chance to go on that sort of thing, I would recommend it because it improves your playing. I think, you know, if you providing you've got a bit of confidence about your playing, it doesn't matter how good you are. I'm not very good, but you know, I was able. It's interesting I've been on what 4 of them now, 3 blues ones, you know, with Ariel Posner, Chris Clark was the first one, Matt Schofield, and Ariel was the second one, and Mike Gooden, and the third one was with no less a person than Josh Smith. As I said before on here, when you're in a room on your own with Josh Smith and he says, "Right, play," that's something of a precious situation, I could tell you, because he's an extraordinary. I'm sure people know Josh Smith. You know, he's only plays with Joe Bonamassa all the time. You know, and he's a whiz. I mean, he's an amazing guitar player on his own. You know, he's as good as Joe Bonamassa. He's no props, and he's also quite an intense, serious person as well. But I noticed this time I got kind of pulled up because I listened to just play some basic blues stuff with Andy guitar. And I noticed how much better I was at it than I had been, you know, 3 or 4 years ago when I first started. I thought, actually, I did all right with that. You know, I managed to go around a few times and play some stuff, and I was like quite pleased with myself that even if nobody else would have noticed, I noticed a progression in that about, you know, and you know, led by those weeks in Italy. I think, you know, that week of just being able to concentrate on it is you know, is a fantastic thing, and I would recommend it, even though they are quite expensive. But you know, not something everyone can afford. But if you can, I would so recommend it because they're such fun, brilliant. Though.
That's awesome.
So that is my number one thing that I did this year, probably, because it's one of those experiences that you know I really loved, and it's a great place, and fantastic people, lovely people, lots of fun. Lots of you know, and music brings you together. You know, the universal language brings you together.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brad, over to you. What's your number one this year?
It was hard to pick a number one, so the biggest one
well,
probably the biggest one on a personal note was musically was going to see Paul McCartney this year with my partner Jackie. It was a
shout out to
It was the last minute decision to go. Like in 2017, I think he came to Melbourne and I had a gig on the same night, and I couldn't, you know, I kicked myself for many years after that I didn't go to those shows in 2017. And last minute, my partner rang me up, Jackie. She goes, "Oh, they're on sale, on pre-sale for Telstra pre-sale. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, yeah. I didn't even know if I had a gig on myself or not. I went, okay. So we went, and still one of the most amazing concerts I've ever been to. Just magical evening. Paul McCartney just gave me a lot of hope. There's certain things that brought tears to my eyes during the performance. So it was a moving night, and it was just an amazing experience, and had a wonderful evening with my partner Jackie. So we get a lot of quality time together, but you know, it's amazing to share those experiences with your partner, obviously. So it was a great evening, and that was my number one, guys, for this year musically. It was amazing. Great gig.
Fantastic, yeah. Absolutely, yes.
Well done. Well done, Simon. Well done, Brad. And guys, I promise if you're watching on a replay, I will go and attach Brad's YouTube stream of that gig if you want to go and check it out and relive the vibe that he's talking about. And later on, I'll show you a video, folks, of the rock professor trying to straighten, or actually topple an architectural anomaly. So he was pretty successful in doing that too.
It was in all the news.
Guys,
idiot Brit abroad topples ancient monument.
what's new? What's new?
Wouldn't be the first time, would it? Wouldn't be the
wouldn't
first
be the
time, would it?
first
Yeah.
time.
Well, you
No,
mean stop
no,
scratching
no.
your name on the Colosseum. I think this guy's
Eh,
got arrested for scratching their name on the Colosseum.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even your new English people don't even understand the sanctity of your war monuments, and they're climbing all over those. So, it's an English thing, isn't it?
There's a deep streak of rebellion in the English psyche. One was the British psyche.
And the
Yeah.
new ones too. Don't forget and the new English ones.
And the
Okay,
new
we're getting political. Stop it.
Don't do that.
All right, stop it.
You're number 2, Andrew.
Yeah. Look, guys, obviously getting the Greenie guitar this year. As I said to you guys before, it was never on my radar. I was always happy with my 2019 Les Paul. I'd souped it up, Brad and Simon, as you guys know. I put in some Bethnal Greens, put a 50s loom in, did a Jimmy Page and had the neck shaved to a real nice slim 60s taper. Very happy with that. But when I went into the rock shop and saw it, Brad, there's just something about, a AAA gold flame top, which, like, shit to a blanket, flies to a shit, or bees to honey, whatever.
Mixing his metaphors wildly. Yes.
Yeah. So it was a matter of flicking some gear to get it, because that's just the way it is, so you come home and you make some decisions and you flick some gear. But I do remember one thing, Simon, talking to Brad about it, in the back of your mind. And even though we've got different guitars and we've played guitars over the years and they're all different, sometimes you just need to have another type of guitar similar to the one that you've got to appreciate the differences, Simon, between the two, and they are completely different, and I remember after playing that for about 3 or 4 weeks, going back to my original one and falling in love with that, Simon, because it was so different, and I didn't appreciate what it was.
Yeah.
And I remember sharing that with Brad, because I know that he's got a couple of Les Pauls too, and he was saying they're all different, bro.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that they're different enough for you not to feel as though you need to get rid of the one with the Bethnal Greens in it and stuff. But it's just quite a different guitar. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
If I got rid of one, it would be the Greenie, even though I love the Greenie, because the Bethnal Green one is it's too personalised. Does that make sense? It's modded too much for it. But that's my second wonderful, positive musical thing. Rock Professor, what's your second one?
My second one is kind of expanding on what you've just talked about at 24 Nights. I mean, I think records released in 2024 always a joy as far as I'm concerned. And I've got 24 Nights down as one of the things we released this year that we did, but also albums by Cardinal Black, R.L. Posen, the Rolling Stones, and my old mate Gerard and the Blue Aeroplanes. All released albums this year that I've really enjoyed. Listening to.
Beautiful.
And it's this year has been the first year of me, to be serious for a minute, it has been the first year of me being an orphan. Really, both my mum died a year ago, and you look at the world differently as an orphan, don't you? Suddenly don't have somebody to talk stuff through with. And so for me, music has been the great the great supporter of getting me through all of that stuff, really. And so those albums are very important to me. To those important to me as support mechanisms, really, in many ways.
Amazing.
The songs on there, very kind of it's I'm sure we all get this. Bruce Springsteen was finishing with a song called "I'll See You in My Dreams," which just I can't listen to it at the moment. brings me to tears. It's just a brilliant song, and he just does it on his own with an acoustic guitar. Just if you get a chance, if you've been to sort of Loss I have recently, it's an amazing song. So yeah, music in general, but those things in particular, you know. And, hats off to the old boys, the Rolling Stones, for pulling it out of the bag. I thought they did fantastically, you know, with that album. It's a really good album. Listened to it since in the car, you know. Yeah, it's really up there. So yeah, music and the power of music, you know,
yes,
to you know, to keep us going and keep us buoyed up and positive, and you know, to support us is you know, never more so than this year. But you know, every year, you know, and we've all got those songs and things that help us along. So I hope everyone else has got their favourite stuff that they got this year as well, help them along that way. Cool. Yeah. That's my second good thing.
Beautiful. Power of music, eh? The power of music. Well, yeah. I had my second one was the Clapton box set, 24 Nights, without sort of rekindling a lot of what Andrew said and whatnot. It was an amazing show we did as well. The series of shows we did towards the release of that, and the experience of watching all that footage that I know has existed for 30 years and been craving for it for 30 years, and it finally got released. It's I'm sure there's more, but I'm satisfied with what we've got because it's amazing. I mean, there's certain things that I heard differently about the performancing. I noticed a lot more about the blues nights. I even down to the equipment they were using and things like that. So it was just an amazing experience to watch that stuff through from the start to finish without ever seeing it before. It was just incredible. So for me, yeah, 24 Nights, and that's my favorite era of Clapton. And my you know, I love all eras of Clapton anyway, but I love that whole performance, that series at 24 Nights of Albert Hall. Sorry, I got the Albert Park stuck in my head for some reason. And yeah, so that's my second one. Yeah.
Well, look, we were all excited, weren't we, when we found that out? Remember, Eric had gone on to that Music Observer YouTube show where that Ding Dong was interviewing him, and he got it wrong. He said, you know, 24 Nights from the 90s, and Eric had to correct him, and he contradicted Eric twice, and you know that, and then anyway, yeah, and the three of us were going, oh, okay. Wow, I think Brad, I think you shared the post with me first, and it was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, and then got up and had my coffee and realised and jumped on and thought, oh, okay, yeah. So, and then it came out. So, yeah,
sent off an email to Eric.
Yeah,
saying, stop talking to him. Talk to us.
Yeah. Come on our show. Yeah.
Well, but, you know, you never know your luck in a big city, do you?
You got it, bro. But yeah, look, I agree with you. We were all excited about that, and a few other family friends, you know, channel family friends, we know were absolutely on board with that as well, including our very, very good friend Michael also. So thank you for mentioning that. My third point, obviously, the Rock Professor stole a little bit of thunder for my third point, but I'm going to jump in and support him. The Rolling Stones releasing Hackney Diamonds was just a wonderful, wonderful little surprise. You know, again, we did a wonderful show on that. We had Foxy on, guys, talking about that as well. And, you know, again, it's a privilege to be part of a channel here that hangs out with people who are just absolutely over the moon, that these guys in their 80s, you know, Keith Richards next month is going to be 80, you know, and these guys planning a tour next year, Brad and Simon. You know, I just went and saw on Mick's social media yesterday. He's playing the intro to Angry, and he's looking cool, and he's talking cool, and he's telling people to get their pre-sale tickets. You know, and
Is it going to be called the Steel Wheelchairs or?
yeah, well, I don't know. You know, I'm still rocking. I'm still rocking. You know.
Still out there
but yeah,
doing it, marvelous.
yeah, so I have to agree with you, Simon. You know, these guys, and they ain't got any sign, Brad and Simon, of giving up, do they?
No, God no, no. Why would you? Why would you give up? I think it's one of the most important things. If you're a musician and you go out and play, and I think that they understand that, but better than most. That actually, which is why they keep going. With Charlie dying and stuff, and you think, oh, did you knock it off? No, we're not knocking it off. We just get another drummer. It'll be different, but because we're
Yeah.
musicians, we have to go out and play. And
Yeah.
I think I absolutely take my hat off to them for that completely. And I think, we said this a lot on this show, and I think, that the person I feel sorry for Jimmy Page, who doesn't have a band to play with, who would clearly love to be going out and playing for the last, 20 years, and hasn't really able to do it. So I think that, if you're a musician, you get like old haggard bluesmen, don't you? And but I think, if you could still kick it up, then kick it up, man. So I think it's admirable and amazing. They're still going out and filling stadiums and doing it. Hats off to them. Long may it continue.
And that dovetails into Brad's experience with Sir Paul McCartney too. A couple of months ago, going to see Sir Paul McCartney and him playing on this album. So again, another example of a guy who's not going to stop until he dies.
That's right.
Yeah,
and they shouldn't. They shouldn't ever stop. They should keep going. So, God bless them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my third thing.
Number 3. So number 3 for me is the continued growth of the show. Gradually getting more subscribers. We're staggering our way to 10K. We've had a bit of a burst recently, but I think that I really enjoy doing this show. I really enjoy the Sunday morning. I really enjoy ranking the tracks. It's fun. It's, if nobody else, it informs me a lot of the time because we have to do research about the albums and those things, and that's brilliant. I look back at my notes for each, for the thing each time, and and having to listen to the songs properly and dig into what are they doing and make some attempt, and I think as us three as a threesome set, people who like music and want to talk about it, like you were down the pub with your mates, is has been a fantastic thing and been one of the supporting things of of this year, every year, but this year, it's a great fun. I've looked forward to it every single Sunday. I have to get up early, at the moment. Whoa, but it's fine. I don't care at all. I've enjoyed it, and the people who are in the chat, Ellen and Hugh and John and Phil, Byers, Gret Zeppelin, all these guys, who come every week and support us. It's a great thing. People like Holly who sent me this fantastic mug. Extraordinary. Yeah, Holly, hello to you. I know you're not on today, but you're sleeping. But those kinds of things make this show so worthwhile. And I hope that long may it continue. We do our thing, and it is a thing. And the 5150 show, which I think has been great as well. The show with Jim, John, and Alan, and and Tanner, the other guys that come on as well. That's all fantastic. And I think that I always enjoy watching those because they're always informative. And I'm also pleased that we have these two very different strands, and we don't worry about not everybody's involved in all of them, kind of thing. And I think that's really good. I think that's that we keep it to what we like and what we do and things, and there's no pressure. So this show is great. Thank you so much, guys. You too, Brad and Andrew, and everyone in the chat. Only some of which I mentioned just now, but for making it brilliant, making it such fun, making it in brilliant time, and I know it's a ludicrous proposition to mark songs out of 10. It's fun, you
It's
know,
the whole
and all
idea.
that stuff. So that is my third top thing of the year.
Well done.
Well, you got my third one, Simon.
Sorry.
I've got it there. Channel growth. I've put here the channel growth, the topics we cover on the channel, the direction of the channel has changed slightly over the last 12 months in a good way. Like we're finding our niche and we're really, molding it to suit us. I love that. It's great. And I put the community that we're growing, the guests, the co-host, you guys, Andrew and Simon, you guys are amazing. It makes it enjoyable and fun to do every Sunday. And whenever I'm part of any of the other parts of the channel, it's always fun. Whether it's a bro down, whether it's a last minute catch up, whether it's a 50 on 50 show I jump on, it's all fun, and that's the reason we do it. But we do it because, I mean, I've got to say, I would do it even if we didn't have any listeners, but the community makes it even more enjoyable that we've got the community we're growing, and the guests and everyone that's part of the channel. So thank you to everyone. That's co-host, people in the chat, that's guests that come on, everyone. So thank you very much, and we'll hopefully have an amazing 2024, and it looks like we'll be really close, if not on 10,000 by the end of the year, I hope. So let's see how we go, guys, and share the hell out of the channel. Anyone who's watching and loves the channel, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. And I think, that just to follow on from that, that if anyone wants to come on and do an album, we are open to people coming. We have watch the show. You understand how it works. That's how it works. It's hopefully, anybody who wants to come on can slot into that structure and that organization, understand how it works. And we're more than keen to have anybody. We've had Hugh on as well. We've had, a couple of other guys on, Jim as well, to come on and do albums with us, and that's been fantastic fun. And so anybody who does got an album they want to do, and, then we're game.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you, guys. I won't add any to that because that's one of my points. So thank you. So I'm just going to give you guys both thumbs up. The fourth positive, cool thing that I like that we've been involved in, guys, and it was really, really nice to hear it from Jeff yesterday when we were on the show, when Jeff said that, we were the first channel to reach out to these guys to say, look, we'd love to get you on and talk about your book coming up. It's in our wheelhouse, as the rock professor says. And, I've reached out personally, and I know that Brad has as well, to a few artists and all that, and we get a couple of replies back, and we know time zones and all that's a little bit of a difficult thing, and we know that because we've had to organise that with co-hosts and guests, so it's not an easy thing. So when these guys said, yeah, we'd love to, and they jumped on, and they've done a few shows now that they're part of the family, Brad and Simon, those guys. So, to have them pop on yesterday and hang out with us a little bit is great. We're going to do another show with them early in the year because they've got some more news to share with us about their book. But, our channel, what we've done here, guys, has been a motivating reason for the success of their book. So that's what we love to do. So again, if anybody is watching that wants to promote a book or an album or anything like that, just reach out to me, Brad or Simon. We do that a lot. That's what we do on this channel. We share a lot of social media links and a lot of projects that people do on our Facebook pages as well, Brad, so we're going crazy with it. So that's the least we can do. So that was my fourth positive thing Shout out to Bob and Jeff.
Yeah. That's been, well, it is right on our wheels, and I was really pleased that Richard Orlando came on as well, because I know he's not been well recently and stuff, and he's written an amazing book about Peter Green, hasn't he? And as well, so it's really nice to have, people like that, Brad Talinsky, and that feel they can come on our show, and they trust us to to be good about that stuff. And as you say, it's right in our wheelhouse of things that we should support, because it's a fantastic book, that the Fleetwood Mac in Chicago. Fantastic. Those photographs are amazing. It's a historical document. So we've been proud to get behind it, haven't we, as a thing?
Yeah.
So we try and answer John's question.
Does it have a guitar, John?
Yes, it's either got to be British or blues or electric or blues, but 2 out of 3 isn't bad. As you can see, John, we bend and flex it. I think there's probably a thing about whether if it comes on this show, it probably has to be a bit more in that British electric blues type genre, doesn't it? Whereas you've done stuff for the 5150 show, things that don't really fit in here so much. So I think you'd have to make a decision about which show you did it on. But it's fine, if you want to do, whatever sort of more kind of.
We're not doing Madonna, rock. John.
No, she's neither British nor electric nor blues. Right. She does not fulfill the criteria.
Yeah. What's your next one, Simon?
Well, it's I'm still holding this grudge, Brad, that you ruined my beautifully lined up piece of organisation, which is where we're going to do the Doors' first album on the 80th birthday of Jim Morrison. But no, you wouldn't do that, would you? No, I had to choose an album that had to be 2 weeks because it's so important. And thank you so much for shoving me into January. You could tell that's rankled with me for weeks, can't you? I thought, you see, yes, that's quite right. Yes. I had to decide. You see, so that ruined my carefully planned.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's fine. So I think we might do the Doors of the first thing in the new year, or I don't know when it. Are you having some time off, Andrew, in January? I think we would sort of probably late January, but it won't have quite the same impact because it'd be 80 in 2 months. It's not really the same, is it? But we're going to ignore that. We're going to pretend that we're still on December the 8th.
We'll still do it like a belated birthday. A belated birthday.
Belated birthday, we could do that. So we'll be doing the Doors' first album as a belated celebration of what would have been Jim Morrison's 80th birthday.
I agree with you, Hugh.
I'm sorry, I'm just being an idiot as usual. So is it my turn with my fourth thing?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Okay. My fourth thing this year was the That Pedal Show Experience Day.
Oh yeah.
Which I went on in back in March the 31st, which was again another fantastic experience. Of a really good example of how to run things, I think, properly. For the first thing I'd say about it, you only have half a dozen people on it at any given time, so it's not a kind of it's not just a tour of the of the establishment and things. There's a little bit of that, but it's because you only have 6 people there, and Dan and Mick, that the great thing is you get a chance to play stuff and have a go with things, and you get a chance, to play through, and they've got a lot of stuff. Man alive, they've got a lot of stuff, and let's face it, most of us, I don't get a chance to play a 2-rock any other time, and I think those sorts of things, it was a real experience, and it was such fun, and they of course are fantastic, really nice people, and know how to do it properly. And I think that that's really important. If you pay a reasonable amount of money for it, and that's fair enough. That they've absolutely done it right, and it hasn't. It's not a coach tour with 50 people on it kind of thing. Which I'm sure we've all been on some of those where it's oh yes, John, yes we do. As a thing, I think it's that. So I had a fantastic day, and hats off to them for that. It was brilliant, and learned a lot, played a lot. I mean, to get my Jimmy Page head on with Through a Two Rock and some stuff, and a Murphy Age Les Paul. That's pretty
Wow.
good. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Playing Custard Pie, and yeah, it's really good. Oh yeah, man! What a smile to my face. Lead back a bit. Come on, crank it up.
Beautiful.
So that was a really fantastic day, and I might go back on another one actually, because what it seems like, you go on something you don't know about. So the first one is always a kind of voyage of exploration, where you suss out exactly how it is, and and the next time you can go back maybe with a bit more focused, and maybe do some things. Maybe if you can get 10 minutes to line something up for yourself, to just do a couple of things in more detail or more in depth, or just do something else rather than be slightly overwhelmed by the amount of pedals and kits and guitars and everything they've got. You get a chance of playing more things, but it's just to focus in on one or two things probably is a good idea. So it was a great day. Thanks to them for being fantastic hosts, and for organising something where you got a real chance to have a go with something and do it. And I think that's one of the best things about it. So and it's just down the road. Perfect. So that's my number 4. Brad, what's your number 4?
Well, my number 4 is the new releases from Philip Says. They brought a big smile to my face, and I was just really, really excited to hear something fresh from one of my friends and heroes, I guess is a good way to put it. And the announcement that he's got a new album coming out in February 24. So the 2 releases he's done is Lady Love Divine and Oh That Bitch's Brew. And they're both fantastic songs, but obviously the first single he released was Oh That Bitch's Brew, and I hear so many things in there that I just love about blues rock and power, blues power. And I'm just really excited to hear what he's got to offer on the next album. And I've still got contact with him and stuff like that, so I'm still working on he's busy man with his scheduling and stuff like that, but we will get him on the show at some point, which will be amazing. It may be early, mid, might be the end, who knows, but we'll get him on at some point, and it'll be fun to just get on and have a good chat about his new release and his touring and what's going on and gear, and geek out a little bit. So but yeah, that's my number 4 this year, was to continue that friendship with him, but also hear some fresh new music from Philip Says. Andrew.
Well done. And obviously the channel has been very much active in doing a lot of Philip Says stuff as well, folks. If you're not aware of that, if you're watching on a replay, we've ranked a few of his albums. Got some good views, and on the Philip Says Facebook groups, people have said some really nice things about what we've said, in the comments over there too. So really heartwarming, isn't it, when you're in a big musical community where people are going, yeah, you guys, great, fantastic, you guys are talking about Philip. So I dig that, bro. I dig it.
Yeah, that's great. You got to support the new talent like the old as well, So, well, not
going to make that point. Yes, we don't do all just old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Philip's been around for a long time, but he's still releasing new material, so it's great to support artists that are still relevant and out there doing the music we love from the past and future together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah. What's your next one? Number 5 we're up to, gentlemen?
Yeah. Okay. Well. Obviously, you guys have already mentioned it, so I've got to do a shout out to everybody that's involved in the production of the channel, because a channel only exists when people have something to present, talk about, perform, whatever, and people join in the comments and on the live streams. And like the Rock Professor said, folks, it's a big part of my life, talking about music, playing music, listening to music. Since 2010, I made a conscious decision that I was going to spend the rest of my life with music, guys, for obvious reasons. And I'm not going to turn my back on that decision. And you guys are part of that, part of me making sure that I'm on that straight and narrow, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And I dig that, and I enjoy that, and I consider that, a great thing. If you guys aren't aware, we had some battles and we had some barriers put up against us. We don't want to dwell about that, but it's something that we need to talk about. We had some barriers by people put in front of us to stop anything that we were trying to achieve here, which is sad and disappointing. We're over that, but we've got a lot of experience, the three of us, involved in that. And if there's one thing that we can pass on, if you ever want to go and do something similar to what we're doing, or do your own social media thing or your own YouTube thing, the three of us collectively have got a lot of experience that we'll happily pass on to anybody.
Yeah.
About that. So you guys know who you are. Obviously, Brad, Simon, I love you guys. You guys are a big part of my life. And I want to do a special shout out. And it doesn't mean, that all you other people who I'm not doing a special shout out aren't important, because you are. But I need to do a special shout out to John ZD351 for being with us, basically at the beginning, and supporting us and encouraging us and moving the chat along, especially. So he's a big part of what we do, and we consider him, part of the production team, don't we, guys?
Oh yeah, yeah, and the artwork.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yes, and the great artwork and all that stuff. Yeah, such fun. It's such a great part of what we do. It's really good. Thank you, John. It's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Well,
we love
that's
you
part
all.
of us being a community, doesn't it? It's that, that everyone, feel like you can chuck things in, and it's all part of it. So hopefully we can.
Yeah, great community. Great.
We love you all.
Yeah.
Rock Professor.
So my last thing. Oh, my last thing is a comparatively recent thing. Last weekend, was it last? Yes, last weekend. I had to go out and buy a new record deck, because my Pioneer 112D deck that I've had since I was 18 years old. So it's like,
then you used to listen to through your headphones up at the parapet.
Yeah, that's right. No, not quite. No, I didn't have it then.
Smoking doobies and listening to
smoking doobies, flicking them out over the garden. No, I didn't have that. I didn't have that record player then. But I had that record player was. I don't even remember these. The speaker. It was basically the deck, and the speakers fitted on top of the deck, and then you could have it like a suitcase and walk around with it. So it was one of those. It wasn't very good, but it's that's why I listened to Pink Floyd on the lying on a parapet, looking at the stars, with no enhancements. Later. Oh, sorry. But so after whatever it is, bloody 47 years, my Pioneer 100W decided to give up and start going, which is quite interesting listening, but I like the wah-wah effect on everything. So I went to a local British shop, and I got some of the you might probably know, called Richer Sounds, because I quite like going to a shop to buy things. Yeah. Rather than just do it online. This one is a shop, and Richer Sounds is a kind of chain in the UK, and it has a very good reputation for customer service. And the guy who started it, Clive Richer, he gave it to the employees. I think he sort of, so the employees are the owners
Wow.
of it. Quite a few years back, and I went in there, and I've been in there one or two times before, a long time ago. But it's one of those shops where it's such a pleasure to go in. One, I need somebody to talk to. I'm going into a shop because I want to talk to somebody about what I want. I don't know the market. And there's they're all kind of very cheerful and smiley and chatty, and as soon as you go in the shop, the guy says, "Hi, how you doing?" And I think just making that connection. I can look around. I could have said, I'm fine. I'm just having a look at some stuff. I explained my story that I needed to, and I explained that I'm look, I'm not an audiophile. Okay, I don't need a £3,000 deck, because I don't listen to music like that. I listen to music and I listen to it, but I don't listen to listen to the sound of those cymbals and it's like I don't do that. I've never done that. I'm not an audiophile at all. So and he was completely and I said, so I just want to so he pointed to me at two or three things, and we talked through what they were and stuff, and it was a really good experience. And I'm sort of doing a shout out to Greg. They do have these. Again, my new deck was £300, which I think is pretty reasonable, and I could have bought one for cheaper than that. I sort of went for mid-range, pretty much what I've had before. Really works in pretty much the same way, belt drive. But I'm making a sort of shout out to the experience of a shop. Really, a shop that's run well and does things well is an enhanced experience, than just going to Amazon and buying it, which is easy. You don't have to go anywhere and don't have to. And for a lot of stuff, that's fine. But for that sort of thing, I feel as I want to talk to somebody and have, a point of contact, and if there was something wrong with it, which there wasn't, it was fine, then I could take it back to the shop, rather than kind of send it back, and so, shout out to Richer Sounds in Bristol, the guy called Mark, who's the manager there, who I dealt with. It was a really good experience, and, I got a really good deck and I'm really happy with it. I've been playing records all week with renewed vigor and energy because they don't go, whoa, which is and could accept quite a lot of the stuff we've been doing over the last year. The Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore. It sounds fantastic. Wait till the family go out, crank it up. So that's my number 5. And as I say, because music is such a big part of my life, the ability to sit down in the sitting room or around it and just put on a record and play it is 20 minutes is the perfect time. Got 136 kilos, John. Yeah, he's got a weight on the back, but it's not that heavy. So yeah, the music thing is just such an important part of my life, and and I need it every day. So the ability to play things and play my records and stuff, it's been fantastic. Renewed energy. So that's my 5th thing for this year. Quite a lot. Good. I feel pleased about that. Brad.
Well, I'm gonna put 2 together because I really needed 6 or 7 or 10, but I'm gonna put 2 together. Just now and then the Beatles release. I was really happy to hear that, to hear John's voice, especially hearing it isolated. I loved the little isolation bits in that I've heard John's voice, and the Sammy years of Van Halen release remastered that as well. Big parts of my life, the Sammy era of Van Halen. So it was great to hear, some of that stuff remastered and get the attention it deserves. So that's probably my 5. I mean, now and then the Beatles, despite on controversial sort of matters and stuff like that, I still am a massive Beatles fan, and I'm happy to hear anything that those guys want to put out. If they want to go back and pull stuff out of, like Peter Jackson's, suggested of finding Let It Be sessions and fixing those up, and that, I bring it on. I'm happy to hear it, and I loved it. I would love to hear Peter Jackson go back and fix up some live performances of the Beatles and separate the crowd noise from the band, and actually hear properly what they're playing, that would be great. But and the Sammy years, the remastered Sammy era stuff, that was amazing to hear that stuff, remastered and given the attention it deserves. So that's my fifth one, gentlemen.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rock Professor. And
Fascinating
always
to
nice
fuse
getting new
together.
kit.
Yes.
Always nice getting new kit. And I got a sort of second what Brad said too about the Van Halen stuff. But more on Van Halen later, I'm sure. Well, definitely
Ooh.
from me on the next part of the show.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the negative, sad, or disappointing things. I've only got 3 things, folks.
Yeah.
I don't have 5. So the first thing that I want to talk about that was sad was at the beginning of the year. We'd had our break, and we got back, and we found out that Jeff Beck had passed away, and kind of floored us. And it had an effect on the 3 of us, and I know that because the way that we were kind of speechless there for a little while, and when we did that tribute show, which I've watched 3 or 4 times, folks, I think we've done a wonderful little video there on that. But we kind of expected Jeff Beck to be Superman, didn't we? Like the rest of these other guys, like Paul McCartney and Keith Richards. We expected him to, because he was, he wasn't as old as those guys, so we kind of expected him to be going for, for another 5 years, so to have him pass away. And he's been a big part of our channel as well. We've done a few shows, Simon, on Jeff Beck. We've had Jim join us. We did a show with Jim. So still getting over Jeff Beck, actually. Passing.
Yeah.
It's going to probably take me a while, actually, but definitely a low point for the start of the year. Brad, you've got you're next up for the negatives, bro, and then the Rock Professor.
You just hit mine on the head anyway. So Jeff Beck passing, it was like getting the news of Jeff Beck waking up to that passing on was like a bit strange. I didn't expect it at all. It was something I didn't know or realize he was having any particular health issues at that particular time, but it just felt like someone winded me a little bit and knocked the wind out of me a bit, quite differently to when Eddie passed away. But still the same impact now when I listen to Jeff Beck. I'm still in awe, and I do think Jeff Beck is probably arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And
no argument from me.
We're in our lifetime, how blessed we are to have experienced Jeff Beck, Eddie Van Halen, all these musicians, but that have passed on. But Jeff Beck, that one hit me hard too, guys. So that's my biggest one for this year, Simon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I should have had a kind of expanded version of this. Basically, all the people who died this year. Tina Turner, Jeff Beck, David Crosby, Gordon Lightfoot, Shane MacGowan, Bernie Marsden, Jim Gordon. All those guys. Quite a lot of them are the bastions of the pillars of what we do here on the British Electric Blues part of the 5150 show. And so I mean it's a bummer, isn't it, that these guys are all 80s and and it's only going to get worse, isn't it? I mean that's my rather sad, bleak view of it, is that it's only going to get worse, because as these guys get into their 80s, and clearly touring is quite a hard life for a musician. That actual being on the road a lot is unless you're Willie Nelson, who just celebrated his 90th birthday and has got a few gigs lined up for next year. So hats off to him for still being out there and doing it. That's as a beacon for us all. how to do it into your 90s. But yeah, so all of those guys, and they all have a a place in what we do and things like that. So I thought I'd make a mention because that's been one of the bad things this year.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Okay. If you guys were paying attention to a couple of posts that the channel's put up, you would have seen some of the stats that we had for the channel this year, and Van Halen is a big part of the channel, folks. It's a big part of the growth of the channel. We get a lot of views when we do Van Halen things, and we love Van Halen, and we kind of fell into doing this Van Halen thing by accident, didn't we, Simon and Brad? It was Eddie's passing, and we decided, okay, we'll continue and kind of do a Van Halen themed show. And we've got it now to the point where it's like absolutely cool, obviously, because we've got Jimmy and John, and we do it as necessary when required, which suits them, suits us, and obviously suits the people that watch us. But this is where I get a little bit gripey, I suppose. This is the gripey part of the show, Van Halen fans are really, really good. And Van Halen fans can be some of the most toxic music fans that I've ever experienced on social media in my life. We spoke about Eric Clapton before and his management team doing a wonderful package with 24 Nights. Alex Van Halen, pull your finger out, Alex, and start doing something with the Van Halen legacy. You've got Sammy and Michael Anthony doing their part, getting out there and celebrating the life of Van Halen. I'm going to carry the theme that Jimmy and John and I have said a few times, guys, on the 5150 show, on the Van Halen shows. They don't look after their fans very well, Brad. The Van Halen camp. They don't give a shit about their fans. And in this age and era where you've got acts that clearly do, and a management team, Simon, that do care about their fans, it's a stark contrast, isn't it, with such a huge band that's been influential in my life who don't. So I'd like to see, and this is the flip of the gripe, I'd like to see a fundamental change next year with the Van Halens and getting something out, doing something for the fans.
Yeah.
That's my gripe. I got one more gripe. One more gripe after when we go around, but that's the number one gripe, Brad.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to second that one, but the negativity that's caused, within the Van Halen camp with things, and I think it's completely and utterly unnecessary when you consider it's all Ed's music. There's no need for it. It's not necessary. And I will actually, it's not something I thought of, but you've brought it up, Andrew, and I'll back you up on it. They don't look after their fans like they should, considering their fans have carried them throughout their whole careers. So whoever the decision maker is releasing stuff, if there is stuff to release, start sharing it with the fans. It's not, there's never going to be a Van Halen again, so do it. And the big thing that I was trying to say about the Van Halen thing was do something to celebrate Ed's life, like that is something the fans want. Sammy's out there going to do it with Joe and Mikey and Jason, but there should be like a one event, like the Freddie Mercury tribute thing. Can be 100 guitar players if they want. They don't need to pick just one. They could pick Nuno. They could pick anyone. Anyone can get them. Anyone that's had part in Steve Lukather. Anyone that's been part of the Van Halen journey. Dave Leslie from Baby Animals. I'm going to throw that out there. Like these guitar players that were friends with Ed. Dweezil Zappa. Do a big show. Get them on. Get Wolf out there to play one or two songs on guitar. I'll do it. Just before it's too late. That's all I'll say, Simon. That's my second one.
John's got some interesting sort of thoughts about that in the chat, which is interesting. But, my second one is a bit more of a personal one, really, to me. It's a musician, a local British musician called Angelo Brascini, died a couple of months ago, and and I, in my youth, I was very closely attached to my friends, the Blue Aeroplanes and stuff, and and they went through a sort of like a lot of bands. They went through, signed to Ensign Records, and had big, nearly big time stuff. Supported REM on their Green tour. Played at I had backstage passes. That's my best rock thing, is to go to backstage passes to a major venue and stuff. It's such fun. But and he died. He played with the Blue Aeroplanes in their golden period, and he played with Massive Attack as well, another huge Bristol band, bigger than the Aeroplanes. But in terms of their thing, so it was a much more personal loss, really. So I've put him as a separate thing, and he'd be much missed, Angelo, in the Bristol music scene. He was a lovely guy, and slightly eccentric, mad as a box of frogs, but a lovely guy and a fantastic musician, and he'll be missed by us personally in the Aeroplanes family, and I consider myself to be part of the Aeroplanes family. So that's my second downer of the year. Apologies for that. I'll stop doing the death thing shortly. Andrew,
my last negative downer of the year is YouTube. YouTube as a platform, it's a wonderful thing to go and get information. We know what YouTube can do. It's got us out of a lot of situations. It's solved a lot of you've got a mechanical issue, go and YouTube it. You've got a guitar issue, Brad, you go and YouTube it. It's great, and we're here on it. But behind the scenes, YouTube don't make it easy. They do not make it easy at all. And that's sad and disappointing. They supported, I'm sure, our channel by pushing the algorithm. We managed to pick up about 800 subscribers this year, Simon, as opposed to 8,000 last year. So I don't know how that works. We lost our monetization. They sent us a couple of notices saying that something was fine, okay, a couple of weeks ago, and then when we were doing the Dr. Feelgood thing, and then they sent us another email saying actually you can't show the video, because of copyright. So we deleted that out of it because we want to get our monetization back, hopefully in January. So I'm convinced they only support big channels, Brad.
Yeah.
I'm convinced, of it.
That's like Instagram and all those platforms as well, Andrew. They're the same. I mean, I've been on Instagram for years, and this year I've had absolutely no growth on Instagram. None.
Yep.
If anything, it's gone back a little bit, It's unbelievable. And you post content, you push. I mean, I know there's other businesses their business relies heavily on socials, and they've had the worst years possible the last couple of years on social. So
yeah, I don't know how it works, and we often, the three of us, talk about some of the things that happens behind the scenes, and and we say, well, last straw, one of us has to go naked, because that clearly that's another thing that YouTube like people that are semi-naked. So
yeah, clickbait.
I'll roll my sleeves up. How's that?
Okay.
We'll start flexing on the animal then. How about that?
Come on, show us your guns, Brad. Come on, pull your guns out, Rock Professor. Clickbait.
Tried some. Look at that.
Yeah, I agree.
we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. We did a quick show, and they asked us to participate here on the channel on a survey, because obviously they're concerned about other platforms, and we filled that in to the best of our ability. But I don't know what the answer is as far as getting support from YouTube, but the so-called algorithm, we worship the algorithm.
Fabled algorithm for the Antioch, yes.
Brad.
Yeah. Mine is sort of touching on what Simon said, the passing away of like Bernie Marsden, Tina Turner. I isolated Jeff Beck on his own because personally is a big influence on me, and that was something. But yeah, that in itself. Oh, hang on. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, fine.
My phone battery is going to run flat any minute, guys. So if I disappear,
plug it in.
Yeah. John. No, see, it's a different. I understand what you're saying, John. I understand what you're saying, but it's a bit of a Kettle Fisher Van Halen. You know what I mean? They anyway. Let's not get into that now.
He's being funny. Laugh.
I think my battery's going to run flat, guys. But say the passing away of like Bernie Marsden, Tina Turner, all the people you mentioned, Simon. There's been and the realization and that a lot of these people are. We're going to be experiencing that a lot more, and it's sad, like it sort of hit home a bit with last year. Was it last year or the year before when we lost a few musicians, and I was like, it seems to be that's going to the way the next 10, 15 years is going to be, I think. You know what I mean? It's a sad reality. I mean, we lost Charlie Watts, and the Rolling Stones are still going, and it's they're down to really when their photo shoots now 3 people. It's like it's sad. It's just the way it is. So I guess the reality of life. That's my third, and it's not really a negative. I guess it is a negative, but I try not to be negative. Yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting you off a little bit there, bro. But Greg, look, I don't want to sound like I'm not grateful on behalf of the channel that we went from a couple of hundred to 10K. That's not the. Please do not get the impression that we are not thankful for that. All I'm suggesting is that YouTube, from our experience, don't have a level playing field. That's all.
It's just really difficult to navigate.
Yeah. What 1 minute we do something and it's fine, and then the next minute they'll send us a message saying this video is not fine, so we're going to do something similar to it, and then they say that's not, So yeah, that's how it works.
The difficulty of not being able to speak to somebody. Yes, he's so. My third thing, I've concatenated 2 things together is that I had 2 opportunities for things this year to. One was clearly missing on Philip Sace's gig at the Fleece, which is really but anyway, family first, and which was a bugger because that video that's been circulating, was mainly done at the Fleece, so I was sad to have missed that, and I had a chance. My old mates, the Aeroplanes, sorry, they're a recurring theme in my life. They normally do a Christmas gig at the Fleece every year, so it's always sold out. It's massively oversubscribed. But Gerard had said to me this year, "Come up and play Break." They do a song called "Breaking in My Heart," which is basically a Tom Verlaine song. There's only 2 chords, basically A and D. And he said, "Come up and play with us." So I had an invitation to get up and play, but Gerald was ill, so they couldn't do it. So he's had some health issues. So get well soon, Gerald. You won't see this, but my old mate has, so I didn't get a chance to do that either. But next year I will. That was a bit of a bummer because I was really looking forward to that. Trying to decide which guitar to take. First world problem.
Folks, I'm just looking at the time. I've got a family thing to go to, so we've only got 5 minutes left.
Right.
So, but yeah, Simon. Yeah, what a bummer. But never mind. You're right. Family first. Family comes first.
Yeah.
Look, Hugh, you're right. You know about YouTube and obviously Gret Zeppelin. You know, we're here. We're still going to continue. You know, we're not far from 10K. But yeah, it's please, guys, do not get the impression that we are being ungrateful. We're just sharing our experience with you about how yeah, we can't work it out. 1 minute we're doing okay, and then the next minute they send an email saying this. Yeah.
And it's all emails, isn't it, as well? You can't speak to anybody. You can't work out the nuances. You just get sent an email with a load of rules in it that are really difficult to navigate and think about. But anyway, let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah. I just want to make that because sometimes, you've got to make that clear. Yeah, you know, because we are grateful for everything.
We keep going with our stuff. Thankful, grateful for all the support.
Absolutely, because if it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't be hanging out here, hanging out with you guys. So thank you, YouTube. So obviously there's I'm going to throw a couple of things into obviously the positive, well, something hopeful that we want to see happen next year. So obviously we're going to be involved with promoting Brad's gig at the Cherry Bar in February, and we hope from that's the catalyst of something that continues and snowballs and flourishes. The Rock Professor and I know a secret that we can't tell you about, but there is a secret happening next year.
Very exciting. Very excited.
Yeah. So you guys need to make sure you've hit that notification button and stay with us because, we've got some big news coming and everyone's going to be excited from that. But, we hope that Brad has a great gig, don't we, Rock Professor, and something happens.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be good. And hopefully get some more gigs out of that and, get back on the live circuit doing his own stuff, which would be fantastic. And, get some new music going, which would be cool. Really good. So
what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'll do the silly one first, but the first thing I'm looking for next year is retiring. I can retire in July. It's skipping down the road. Bye, work. Thank you so much. Yes.
Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube.
In a mealy fashion. Yes.
I'll go and edit that out.
Yes. Don't worry. We're an hour and 23 minutes in. No one will notice. Yes.
Self-censorship.
That was worse, to be honest. So that's my first thing I'm looking forward to. In I've worked for 47 years. There you are. I'm bloody stopping. And then I can do even more time to this mad, idiotic show.
Fantastic.
Yeah, cool. Go on. What's your next one?
Oh, that's it.
Oh well, I've got a couple more. If
sure.
I'll run through quickly. Doing gigs this year. Doing some more gigs this year. My little band. Yeah, I've got some things lined up. Finally getting around to building my pedal board as well. I've got all the components. I just need to find some time to do it. I'm always rushing about, being a mad person. Getting to 10K subs clearly is the next goal. And next May, go and see Bruce. Go to see Mr. Springsteen. Vast expense. I'm really looking forward to that because I think it'll be brilliant.
We look forward to you getting an interview with him backstage.
3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours of thrilling stuff as far as I'm concerned. I love Bruce Springsteen so much.
Yeah, we should theme that into.
Well, John was
saying
he wants to do a Springsteen album, so we'll talk about that and we'll work out a Springsteen album maybe around that, John. That would be good to do. Yeah, which one to do and stuff. But
well, at least a couple by then for sure.
Yeah. You see, the list grows longer, not shorter. So so that's my things to look forward to in 2024.
Brilliant. Being Christmas
Yeah.
time too, folks, I ask you to go and check out this album that came out a couple of years ago, Happy Christmas by Eric Clapton. It's got some great Christmas tunes. Go and check it out. His Stratocaster sounds on fire. Go and put that on rotation this time of year. It's good. It's good.
I'd love to, Ryan, get on stage for a few songs with Bruce, but I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll do a show next week, folks, during the week, because I'm off. I finish work
Summer holidays.
on Thursday for 4
Yeah.
weeks. So I've got a couple of fishing trips planned and stuff like that. So we don't do any ranking of the tracks until probably the 3rd week of January. So we'll keep you up with that. We know what that album's going to be, obviously. So you guys have got 6 weeks of listening to the Doors' first album to get that under your under your belt. So we expect everybody to be experts on that album, but definitely we're going to have shows in between
We'll do
that
something,
period.
won't we?
So
Get
make
together.
sure you've subbed and you've got that notification button hitting. You know, we'll get together before Christmas. I know that, and then after Christmas, we always do one between Christmas and New Year's, Simon, too, don't we?
Yeah. That's yeah. I'm off for a week and a half over Christmas as well. So it's going to my sister's in London for Christmas. Be
The
great.
big smoke.
Yeah. Morning, Johnny. How you doing? Hope you're good. Nice to see you.
Awesome. Do you want to do a shout out,
Thank
Rock
you for your
Professor?
support. I'll do a shout out. Yeah, and thank you, Johnny, for all your support this year. And fantastic. It's thanks to Hugh Caldwell, Gret Zeppelin, John Z.D. as ever, Johnny Heartbreaker, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen, for your support this year. Great Roberts Tune, Ryan Hall, of course. Yeah, regulars are in. Arvin, thank you so much, Arvin, for your support this year as well. Who else have we had? See, going back up, Hugh, Greg, Gret Zeppelin. Maybe we've got 14 watching. Ryan Hall, thank you, Ryan. So that's pretty nice. Hugh, Gret, and Phil Byers. Thank you, Phil. Good to see you. A little bit further back in the chat. Christopher Lysover. Nice to see you, Chris. Thank you for dropping by. KXM Rock as well. You dropped by earlier, so fantastic. Drops Family Garden. Cool. Very cool. I think that's everybody. I've got to the top. Chris, Ryan. Yeah, I've got to the top. That's who I've got. Hopefully I shouted everyone out. Thank you so much. And to Holly as well for all your support this year, Holly, if you've kept this on replay. Fantastic stuff. And everyone else too. Have a lovely Christmas, New Year, happy holidays. And,
Awesome.
whatever you celebrate. And yeah, we'll be seeing you in the week, or certainly between Christmas and New Year. We'll get on and do something, won't we?
Yeah. Go and check out
Story.
the show too, folks. We did 2 shows on the Allman Brothers live at
Yeah.
Fillmore.
Yeah.
I want to do a special shout out to that because that was a fantastic couple of shows too. So, yeah, we've done some great albums on this channel. Something that we should all be proud of. We're out of here.
Take it away, Eric the orchestra leader. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Happy holidays.